Every Sunday morning for the last couple of years now, we've been doing a prophecy update. We started actually in October of 2006, and we have been doing it ever since, and we'll probably continue to do it, well, until the rapture. So this is the time of the service now, the portion of the service that we set aside to look specifically at Bible prophecy. One of the reasons why we do this is because we really believe that we are living in the last days. Much of what is taking place today in the world geopolitically is a fulfillment of Bible prophecy. What was foretold by the prophets of old, both in the Old Testament and in the New Testament as well. There are so many prophecies for us. In fact, it's believed that there's about 1/3 of the Bible that is actually Bible prophecy. So you really, in a way, can't teach the Bible without teaching Bible prophecy. If you try to teach the Bible without teaching Bible prophecy, then you would need to sort of rip a few of your pages out of your Bible, because you cannot go through the scriptures and just pick and choose. And so we want to talk about the whole counsel of God from Genesis all the way to Revelation. Another reason why we do these prophecy updates is because we believe that the effect and the impact that it has on us is such that it purifies us, readies us, even steadies us for the return of the Lord. See, if we live our lives with that anticipation of His imminent return, it has a way of affecting how we live our lives. We start to live our lives in light of eternity. And it sort of loosens our grip on this world and the things of this world, which, like John said, are passing away. So he says, don't love this world or the things of this world. You know, I look at what's taking place here just in the United States, and I wonder how God might use this to sort of take our eyes off of our government, off of this country, and instead put our eyes on the Lord, and in so doing, put our hope in the Lord. Our hope is not here. Why is our hope not here? Because our home is not here. Listen, we're just passing through. We're renting. We're just renting. And to me, it seems like the lease is about up. And soon we'll be relocating to our heavenly home. And I believe that is soon, even very soon, as I see what is taking place in the world today. Typically, we look at Israel. It's been said that Israel is God's prophetic clock. If you want to know what time it is in terms of God's clock, God's timing, just look at the nation Israel. In 1948, May 14th, when Israel, by one vote in the UN, returned as a nation, fulfilling a host of prophecies, I believe the clock really began to start ticking. Let me take it a step further. I believe that when Israel returned as a nation in 48 and then recaptured Jerusalem in 67, that the clock started ticking a little bit faster. I'm reminded of what Jesus said in Revelation. John the Revelator recorded it, chapter 20. He said, "Behold, I come quickly." Quickly? You know what? It's interesting about that word quickly. In the original language of the New Testament, the original language of Greek, that word quickly is tachos, where we get our word tachometer. In other words, Jesus is saying, when I come back, things will be revved up. See, what's a tachometer measure in our cars? It measures a set time, but the gauge is gauging the revolutions per minute, RPMs, revolutions per minute. In other words, the time is already set, but things will increase in rapidity, and the intensity and the frequency of that which will take place prior to His coming will be such that it will be likened unto, like what Jesus used, and even the Apostle Paul, a woman in labor. In other words, these will be like birth pains, Matthew 24 says. when Jesus answers his disciples that before I come, you'll have all of these things that will happen. Wars, rumors of wars. You'll have famines, pestilence, earthquakes in different places. Nation will rise against nation, kingdom against kingdom, but that these will be the beginning of birth pangs. Now, if you have a King James, it says sorrows there, and that's sort of a poor translation. It misses, I think, what Jesus is trying to say there, because that was the old English word for birth pains. When you understand it as birth pains, it sort of changes the whole complexion of it. Again, these things will come with greater intensity like birth pains, and the frequency will be shorter. So, behold, I come quickly. Now, what I see happening is all of these things are globally, prophetically, sort of fitting together rather quickly, right before our very eyes. Things are happening, and even while this nation is all caught up in the financial crisis that we're in, this presidential election that we're going to have, it seems that still, even though, we're distracted by all these things, it's still happening, and I believe even more so. I wonder, I look at Putin and Ahmadinejad, and I think that they're taking advantage of the fact that we're embroiled in a financial crisis and an election year to sort of do what they're doing, knowing that it will maybe escape our notice because we're so distracted. Well, be that as it may, today, I was going to talk about Israel and Iran and Russia and Ezekiel 38, as I seemingly always do. I feel like sometimes I only have one string on my guitar of prophecy, and it's an Ezekiel 38 string. And I think maybe one of the reasons for that is because I believe Ezekiel 38 is about to be fulfilled exactly as God, through Ezekiel the prophet, foretold. It is amazing to me. It is unbelievable to me how it is that Russia and Iran are readying this Muslim alliance of nations to attack Israel. And the United States will not come to Israel's aid. And actually, only God will intervene and come to Israel's aid and defeat this army against all odds for the sake of his people, his chosen people, the Jews. Well, again, like I said, I'm not going to talk about that today, even though I just did. But I want to revisit a prophecy today, one that I believe may very well have a prominent place in God's final prophetic program. The prophecy is about a rebuilt Babylon. Though yet future, this prophecy, I believe, has profound implications that are seemingly even more plausible now that we're in the year 2008 and in Iraq and in Afghanistan as well. But it's important to understand that the prophecies about Babylon have been a source of much eschatological debate. Now, I realize eschatological might be a big word. Eschatology is just the study of end times or last days events. So there is amongst those who have made a study of the last days much debate about where this rebuilt Babylon that the scriptures foretell and prophesy about, where will it be? Will it be in ancient Babylon? Some Bible teachers have thought that even the United States is this Babylon. Well, I want to today try and just present what I believe is a possible scenario for Babylon. Now, I want to hasten to say that I'm not dogmatic about this, but I am interested in this because what I see happening seems to fit with what's happening. That might sound like a play on words, but let me begin by listing some facts related to Babylon and its potential place in the possible fulfillment of related Bible prophecy, speaking of Babylon. First of all, Babylon is mentioned some 300 times in the Bible.